What's up, YouTube? It's Mike here, back with another video. I got some updates this week for you. Gonna go around the tanks, check out the fish, and I also got some updates on some projects I got working on. So we're gonna check it out in this video today. Ask you, as always, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can always unsubscribe in the future if you don't like this kind of content, but subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell for notifications, and if you like the video, please like the video. Figured I would start with the 600-gallon update. I haven't got much done, but I did get a bunch of stuff in the mail that will help move this project along a little bit, and I wanted to give you guys an update on this tank and my plans for it with filtration and whatnot, and it might take a little longer than I thought it was going to take to get it up and running. So I know you guys are like, oh, well, you know what, longer than the past 10 months that you've had it? Well, yeah, it's going to take longer than that. I've got here a ton of bulkheads. So I've got some 2-inch for the back wall here. So we're going to do a drain here, a drain here. And I think I'm just going to plug that one. I don't think I'm going to bother to use it because it would suck up the substrate that I plan on using. So I've got some 2-inch there. I'm going to plug that one with a 2-inch bulkhead. And then I've got a ton of 1-inch bulkheads here, which I'm going to utilize in different ways. You guys will see that come along. I have to wait to do the plumbing on this. I'm waiting on some patches for this, some acrylic discs that I'm ordering to weld over these holes on the bottom that used to be for circulation pumps from the previous owner. So I want to just weld those completely. I don't want bulkheads on them. I'd like the flattest, ideally the flattest possible patch for those. So yeah, I'm waiting on some acrylic discs, and as you can see, I've got the filtration ready for this tank. I'm gonna filter it with these 3 extra large sponge filters, so you know it'll be plenty of filtration for this tank. Psych! Okay, so I got another Ultima canister filter. This thing is a beast. This is a 6,000. I have this 2,000 that I've been running now for months on the 1,100 gallon, and this I'm cycling on the 1,100 to get it ready for the 600. So I'm going to be plumbing this Ultima 2000 into the 600 gallon directly. So it's on its own filtration as well as having a pass-through system with the 1100. But I picked this beast up because I want to use this in addition on this system. So because it's so big and I have limited amount of space, it's got me wondering how I was going to make this work. And I think what my plan is I'm gonna build a table type thing here, a platform over the plumbing that will hold both the 6,000 and the 2,000 right next to each other. So I'm gonna have a lot of plumbing to get myself over there for the 6,000, because that's gonna be directly plumbed into this 1,100 gallon tank here. So there's a lot to do before I can actually set this up and get it into place, because the plumbing is going to be so complicated. Now, as some of you guys know, I run a 4,000. Now I'm getting flies in here because I got the door open. It's driving me crazy. But I've been running this Ultima 4000 on the 1,500 now for well, ever since we got it running. It's been about 7-8 months now, and it does a fantastic job. These things are awesome, and I am sick of doing maintenance, or I should say I'm sick of swapping out filter socks on this big overhead sump. So you guys are going to see a big conversion process come along over the next few months, where I'm basically going to convert over to these and away from these overhead sump systems. Now, I love this sump, and a lot of people love this sump. I get a lot of compliments on it. It's cool. It's like a display piece. It's interesting. It definitely attracts a lot of eyes, and I appreciate that everyone likes it. I get a lot of compliments on it. It's very cool, but it's a pain in the butt, and I have to get up on top of the tank crawl up there and swap the socks out, which are in the back. I'm not even going to get up there. I've shown it before in the past in some of my old videos, especially when I first set the whole system up. But it's a real pain in the butt to get up there. I'm sick of it. And honestly, it's not even that efficient of a filter. Has it worked? Sure. It's great. It keeps the ammonia down. It does its job. But this would do the same job much, much better in a smaller, more condensed area. And all I have to do is spin a valve and backwash it. So I know that a lot of people who really like this sump are going to be disappointed that I'm going to be, in a way, getting rid of it. But I have an idea. So I'm not going to be using this tank as a sump anymore, but I do have another plan for it. And let's just say for now that the tank itself is going to stay where it is. So, sorry it's not focusing, but don't lose faith in me. This is still going to be a very cool setup, a cool display. It's going to have the big monster tank underneath, and I got something in store for up above. Over the next few weeks, I have to build a platform, so I have to pull this whole tank back out, build a platform for both the Ultimas to sit on, and then I can start doing my plumbing. It's a huge pain. And once I get the plumbing done and I get these holes patched, then I can fill this with water. I want this to run with water in it before I buff the tank. So we're a long ways away from being able to put fish in this tank. Now I want to run it with water in it because it's going to really help break up all of this stuff from the old saltwater system that has built up on it. It's salt and all kinds of stuff. It was a reef tank, so it's going to be very difficult for me to just try to scrub that stuff off. Whereas what I've learned over the years with used tanks is if you leave them full of water for, say, a week, it really helps get that stuff off really easy, and it's going to limit the additional scratches that I would probably add to the acrylic if I was to just try to dust that stuff off or try to scratch it off. I'm just going to scratch up the acrylic more. So I think the best thing to do is do all my patches, do all my plumbing, fill it, let it run for a while, and then all that stuff's going to break off really easy. Then I can drain the tank completely and buff the inside. While it's full, I can do the buffing on the outside of the tank. So let's start with a little update over here on the 300. You guys saw it in the last video because we moved the Phantom out of this tank. And as you see, this silver arowana doing great. I'm trying not to spook them, so I'm trying not to get too close. But everything's doing really well in here. I'm thinking about moving this Vijas and Spillum and my big chocolate cichlid that are in here over to this tank. Seeing how you guys pretty much got an update on this, I'll just move right over to the 1500 now. Update on this tank. We added a red-tailed giant gourami, and he was getting severe... Here we go. Here's the red-tailed giant gourami doing really well. Focus. Beautiful fish, but it was getting severely picked on by my Aquatics, and I had to move him over here. So he is a lonesome cichlid in this tank now, and whatever, he's fine. He's too big for anything to eat. Can't fit in anything's mouth, so I'm going to leave him over there. He's too much of a bully. But him not being in this tank opens up a lot of space. So the story is that this big chocolate cichlid here and this Vija, I actually tried putting with these guys when they were all in the 1100, and that Aquatics was picking on them so bad I had to move them back. So now that he's gone and I've got a way to kind of make this work, I think I can just throw them in here. Be nice because they got the tank space anyway. It'll kind of fill this tank up a little bit more, and it'll give them lots more space to grow, and they can just live out their lives in there. It's a little bit of a random setup. You kind of got like one of each species in here, kind of weird, but it is what it is. Those fish have been given to me. Most of these fish have been given to me over the years. So, you know, stuff needs a home, and I'm just about trying to give them the biggest tank possible. So that's what we're doing. There is not necessarily me trying to set up a species-only tank here. This is just giving fish that I have. For whatever reason I have them, I'm trying to give them the best home possible. So, and a little update this phantom red-tailed catfish. I think he's even grown a little bit more in the past week. It's been like exactly 8 days, 7-8 days since putting him in, and he is a beast. I haven't fed today, so he doesn't have a nice full belly, but I'll probably feed later today, and he will, it's gonna fatten right up. So moving on to a little bit of the quarantine tanks here. We have the albino silver arowanas that I've been growing out. They're both doing fantastic. And my little baby Paraíba catfish is doing fantastic as well. Got nice long whiskers and streamers here, so very cool. And this is working out awesome. Eventually I'll be able to move these fish to a bigger grow out, but for now they've got plenty of room in that 55. And new addition here is a little female black diamond pup, and I'm trying to nurse her back to health. She has a little bit of an eating issue that I'm trying to work her out of. We're hoping for the best with her. So we will see if we can kind of bring her back to life. She's very active, actually. I shouldn't say bring her back to life because she is very active. I did get her to eat a chunk of earthworm, but as you can see, she is very, very skinny, and that is not healthy for rays. But I like how active she is. She does not look sick. I think we're in good shape with her, and we'll be able to get her eating good and fatten her up. Then we have Pinky, the pinkster. The big pink giant gourami. He has been himself. He's doing just fine. Let me try to get a better angle on him. So we got him and Synodontis decorus doing his weird little planking thing over here. They somehow they coexist, so I've just left the decorus in here because the decorus gets a little bit aggressive with other Synodontis. So I'm kind of limited on where I can put him. Actually, he gets aggressive with other catfish in general. So this works out that Pinky allows him to stay in this tank. I added a bunch of driftwood because I broke down my 125 that was upstairs. I no longer needed that tank. So I took the driftwood from that tank, I just threw it in here. But Pinky is doing good. He has continued to grow over time. He just seems to get bigger and bigger. And as well as some of my plans I talked about earlier, he's going to fit into them. And you guys will see how that comes along. I'm not going to give too much away. But I've got a cool idea to give Pinky a new home. And that brings me back to an update on the 1100, which I showed a little bit earlier. This tank has been doing really, really well. I was having a problem with the platinum alligator gar biting the tails of the catfish. So if you look close, you'll see a lot of them are still frayed. But for the most part, the catfish's tails have started healing up. They just like to bite stuff, even if they can't eat it. So it's an annoying problem, and I've seen that from other gators in the past. I do try to keep him as fat as possible and feed him big fillets to try to keep his belly full, just to make sure he is not hungry. Other than that, everything's been going really, really well. The fly river is doing really good, although I do not like having him with this mix of fish. Mostly the gator and the ray. I do not like having a fly river turtle with those two. Anyone who knows anything about fly rivers would know that that's a bad combination. So I'm very aware, and anybody else who is worried about it, I have a plan. You'll just have to give me some time. For now, he does really well, eats really good, and everything gets along pretty well considering how many monsters we have in here. And just a quick update on this Marble Achara TSN hybrid here. This is by far my biggest cat, and it's only, it's not even 2 years old. So crazy to think about how quick these guys grow. I got this fish in the fall of 2019, and it was only about 3.5 inches, maybe 3.5 inches. And I got it locally. It was just at one of my local fish stores, sitting there. It was mislabeled. They didn't know what it was, to be honest. And I knew what it was right away. So I had to grab that up, and look how big he is. He is a solid 30 inches is my estimate. I know he's over 2 foot. So he is getting way up there, and what a beast. He or she. I actually got this other hybrid around the same time. It has not grown quite as big, but as you can see, it's still quite the beast. So they get pretty big pretty quick. It's not a 30-incher, but it is up there. And then we have my biggest iridescent shark, is also like a solid 30 inches. That is about a 4-year-old iridescent shark now. I got that around the same size as those cats. So I don't have 12 tanks like I used to. I have just, I think, 6 tanks running. And you know what? It's so much easier on me. I have a lot more water, but a lot less tanks. It's a lot less maintenance, and honestly, it's kind of more where I want to be. I just want a bunch of big systems with the type of fish that I really enjoy watching and keeping, because I can sit down here at night and just watch the fish for hours. I absolutely love it. So not so much into the smaller species, not so much into having like a ton of tanks anymore, a bunch of small tanks, trying to limit it, keep to the big systems of the fish that I like. That is my Wednesday update for you guys. Actually, it's not Wednesday yet, but it will be when you guys are seeing this. So I hope you enjoy the update as always, and the next one you should see a little bit more activity from me, where I'll actually get some projects done around here. This week I was pretty much just waiting on stuff in the mail, and at least I got some planning done, which is key, and I think I have all of the lumber I need to make that shelf for the Ultimas in the corner there. I'm also debating on whether I should make it a closet with like a door where I can actually kind of close them off. I haven't decided yet. Let me know in the comments below if you think I should turn it into a closet, kind of like what I did for this Ultima over here, the 4000, for the 1500, or if I should just kind of keep them out in the open so you can see them. I think they'll be a lot more accessible and easier to backwash if I just keep them out in the open, but I'd have a nice cleaner look, especially once the basement is finished, if I turn it into a closet. So I gotta decide. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys as always for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram. I've been posting almost every single day on Instagram. You'll see a lot of these updates. You'll see that Ultima come along. Just every little project I'm doing, any fish that I get, I'm pretty much posting them on Instagram every single day. Instagram at Off the Deep End Aquatics. Check me out. Till the next one, I'll see you guys. Thanks.